Hello, welcome back to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. And welcome back. It is episode 290 of 10 at 10. And today we are taking a look at the news of the last few days and weeks and trying to see what little nuggets are in there that can help us um, stay safe, keep ourselves, our organizations, our families safe. And with that, I just want to dig into it. And and I guess I'm going to take with our first story today. I'm going to take a little bit of privilege, and this isn't exactly only cybersecurity related, but it is certainly in the news. This week in Paducah, there was a announcement of a new. It was a partnership between a number of groups: Brookfield, NextEra Energy, and a few power companies in the area. But essentially, they are creating a massive power plant. I'm calling it a power plant, energy organization, along with a data center for targeting AI. Both of those are going to be built to support each other on the Department of Energy site that's located in Paducah. The announcement was 8,000 construction jobs, 600 permanent jobs, and an investment of 100 billion with a B, $100 billion of private investment. The reason I'm talking about this is that I have had a lot of people ask me, what does this mean? Is my power rates going to go up? There's a lot of information out there about data centers. And I'll tell you that depending on the political outlet you're on, is if you're listening to that side, they have an opinion. And like most things in life, the truth is somewhere in the middle. And as it relates to this, one of the questions or one of the comments that since the announcement I've seen a lot on social media is I live in Paducah and my rates are going up. My Paducah, my power bill is going up. That's just not the case. If you look at the announcement, the the amount of gigawatts that is being created at this new site is actually more than what the data center will consume. So what the announcement shared was that that extra can be turned back to the grid. So instead of it taking power from the grid, it appears at this point early that it's actually going to put data or put power back onto the grid. So for Paducah Power, for Jackson Purchase, this actually could end up being a way for them to get more power and maybe even cheaper than what they're getting it today. So it actually could end up causing rates to maintain when other companies may be having to raise rates for that power consumption or for power generation. Anyway, so I think it's a really, you know, I think that we all want the technology, the AI pieces that comes along with it. We're not going to quit using Google. We're not going to quit using Facebook. We're not going to quit using ChatGPT and all these apps. We're just not going to stop. We're used to using them now. Now we're not going to get rid of them. The data center debate really is about whose backyard it gets put in. And the site that was located in Paducah at this Department of Energy site, it's the same site where uranium was enriched for 50 years, maybe 60 years, but it's been a site for 75 years. It just makes sense that some of the environmental concerns have already been addressed there. It's already being something that they've been doing for a long, long time. So that seems like a good logical spot to put a data center. Are there some logical spots or some illogical spots that data centers are being considered? Sure. This seems to be one that makes sense. And like everything, that the details on some of these things are what matters. But anyway, that is an exciting day. I'm excited to see what happens from Paducah. I don't think this is the last announcement that will ever happen out at this site. I think there'll be new companies and new opportunities, and it continues to be a site where economic development in the greater Paducah area is targeting, and I think there'll be more to come. But for now, I wanted to share that. Um, I think this one is an interesting article. This one's a little bit different than what I normally share, but I think that it is uh, a very important one. It says that AI uh, outranks cybersecurity as the leading compliance concern for investment advisors. Artificial intelligence is far and away the compliance concern for registered investment advisor firms, which have been creating formal policies and procedures governing the deployment of technology in their firms. So let me say this a different way. The use and the way that AI is being deployed is one of the most pressing issues in the field. This is in their field, their in their compliance areas, and I share this because I hear it in every field. It is, what are we doing with AI? How are we deploying it? How are we governing it? How are we overseeing it? And what kind of compliance do we have? And the reason this is a cybersecurity or outweighing cybersecurity is that we finally got our handle on cybersecurity. Now, cybersecurity changes every day. Policies have to continue to be updated. All these things are continuing to be updated, but we have a process in place. We don't have a process really in place for AI yet. We think we have some guidelines and some frameworks that we can use, but it's not been around long enough for us to have um, that true structure in place. So I think that that is going to continue to be a concern. And if you are wanting some advice on how to do that, reach out to me, and I'm happy to talk through on what that might look like. Um, Next article, and I'm picking on Washington D.C., but they're an easy place to pick on sometimes, I guess. But the Washington D.C. public school system, D.C. public schools, DCPS is what they call it, says that information from 55 schools, including families' addresses, could have been exposed to a data breach. Based on the investigation, the following information might have been exposed: names, student ID numbers. Hopefully, that's not their social security numbers, but it very well could be. Date of birth, parent and guardian names, home addresses, phone numbers. This is at a school district. There was also a school district in Tennessee that had an issue. They're actually having to delay school in that school district, the start of school that is, because they're trying to make sure that they recover and get safe or are safe from that that attack as well. But I bring this up not to point fingers and talk about these schools that have had issues, but I bring this up to say one of the things that has really to me bothers me, and and it makes sense. I get it. I know what people are going to say, but one of the things it says, we are also evaluating additional safeguards for student information to reduce the risk of future incidents. If you had weighed and implemented those safeguards before, you wouldn't have had this incident. There's so many organizations, and I could list dozens that I know of personally that have not implemented these safeguards until they've been the victim of a data breach or a ransomware attack. At that point, yes, you should still do it, but it's too late. Had you done this before, prioritized it before, then maybe this bad thing wouldn't have happened in the first place. But so many of us, so many of our organizations wait until that bad thing's happened. And at that point, I mean, yes, you should do it, but you should have done it before then. You've waited too long, and that bad thing has happened. So, anyway, all right. My last story, and I got to be fast on this one, is OpenAI said last week, I believe that was last week, it might have been the week before, that one of its AI models escaped its sandbox. and was targeting um, other AI tools, in this case, to cheat a competition. The point of this is we think that we're using these AI models uh, and that it's all safe, it's everything's perfect. We're all, all these things are, all these controls are in place. The reality is maybe, maybe not. This is such an evolving space that we don't know exactly all the things that could go wrong or that could happen. Don't hear me say that to mean that I don't want you to do anything with AI. I think it's bad, because I don't. I want you to use AI. I want you to innovate with AI, but I also want you to make sure that you look at all of the different things that need to be in place to make sure you do it in a safe and secure way. Or what information are you putting out there into the models, knowing that it could escape the sandbox, it could escape the controls that you have in place. So, what are you going to do to make sure that you're staying safe? You're keeping yourself safe, keeping your family safe, keeping your customers safe, and in everything that you do, because it's changing literally by the day. But anyway, thank you very much for joining in. As always, I went over, but thank you for joining in, and I'll see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.